नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। So we are reading from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 46, Text 41, 42 and 43. Yatha Bhramarika Drishtya Bhramyativa Mahiyate Chitte Karatari Tatratma करते वाहम धिया स्मृतः। यथा भ्रमरिका दृष्ट्या भ्राम्यतीव महीयते चित्ते करतरि तत्रात्मा करते वाहम धिया स्मृतः। यथा भ्रमरिका दृष्ट्या भ्राम्यतीव महीयते चित्ते कर्तरि तत्रात्मा करते वाहं धिया स्मृतः। Vaishnavis, please. Yatha, as Bhramarika, because of whirling around, Drishtya, in one's vision, Bhramyati, whirling, Eva, as if, Mahi, the ground, Iyate, appears, Chitte, the mind, Karitari, being the doer, Tatra, there, Atma, the self, Karita, the doer, Eva, as if, Aham Dhiya, because of false ego, Smritaha is thought. Translation and purport by the beloved servant disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Just as a person who is whirling around perceives the ground to be turning, one who is affected by false ego thinks himself the doer, when actually only his mind is acting. Please kindly repeat. Just as a person who is whirling around perceives the ground to be turning, one who is affected by false ego thinks himself the doer, when actually only his mind is acting. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti gives a parallel idea. Although our happiness and distress are caused by our own interaction with the material qualities, we perceive the Lord to be their cause. Since I have been instructed to cover 42 and 43 as well, we will read them. Yuvayor eva naivayam atmajo bhagavan harihi sarvesham atmajo hyatma pita mata sa ishvara. Translation. The Supreme Lord Hari is certainly not your son alone. This is Uddhava speaking to Nanda and Yaśodā. Uddhava is speaking to Nanda and Yaśodā. The Supreme Lord Hari is certainly not your son alone. Rather, being the Lord, He is the Son, Soul, Father and Mother of everyone. Drishtam shrutam bhuta bhavad bhavishyat sthasnur charishnur mahadalpakam cha vinachyutadvastutaram navachyam sa eva sarvam paramatma bhutaha. Translation. Nothing can be said to exist independent of Lord Achyuta. Nothing heard or seen. Nothing in the past, present or future. Nothing moving or non-moving, great or small. He is indeed everything, for He is the Supreme Soul. Purport. Sri Uddhava is relieving the distress of Nanda and Yaśodā by bringing them to a more philosophical plane. He is explaining that since Lord Krishna is everything and is within everything, His pure devotees are always with Him. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Hare Krishna. By the instruction of His Grace Dharmatma Prabhu, I am sitting here. I am utterly unqualified and I feel like a rabbit in the presence of mighty herd of elephants. All the wonderful senior Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, all of you present here, you have been serving Srila Prabhupada for more number of years and decades than I have spent time in this body. So I am simply speaking to fulfill this instruction and to purify my heart. It is not instructive to anyone in any shape or form. If I speak something which is favorable to the practice of bhakti, you may kindly accept it and offer your blessings. And if anything that comes out of my mouth is not in line with Shastra, all of you can kindly forgive me, chastise me, correct me, and reprimand me. I am trying to simply serve Srimad Bhagavatam on Dharmatma Prabhu's instruction. So I beg for all of your blessings. May the right words come at the right time, in the right spirit of serving Srila Prabhupada and Shri Radha Shyamasundar. May by your blessings I serve all of you this morning. Vancha kalpataru. Dear Shrutakirti Prabhu, I would like to start by offering my gratitude to you. When I read your What's the Difficulty, I really felt that although I have never seen or met Srila Prabhupada, I felt I got closer to Srila Prabhupada through your writings. I loved how the stories are short, crisp, sweet, relatable, with a nice, wonderful lesson at the end. So, thank you, Prabhu.
I'm going to reread it.
I remember when I said that to one devotee, I feel like reading that book again. He said, you should. What's the difficulty? So this morning, we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam. In the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, please kindly repeat, Janmantare Kritam Punyam Tada Bhagavatam Labhet. Only when one serves Krishna for hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes does Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam enter their life. This is a verse from the Puranas. Janmantare Kritam Punyam Tada Bhagavatam Labhet. Only when one sincerely tries to serve Krishna for many, many lifetimes does Srimad Bhagavatam become pleased and enter the life of that devotee. How glorious is Srila Prabhupada's service, that people like me, I have not served Krishna in my past life, but through the book distributors and through the devotees, Srimad Bhagavatam walked into our life. Therefore, Sada Sevya Srimad Bhagavati Katha Yasya Shravana Matrena Hari Chittam Samashrayet. Bhagavatam has been glorified in the Padma Purana and the Skanda Purana, that how many times should we read Srimad Bhagavatam? How many times should we speak Srimad Bhagavatam? How many times should we hear Srimad Bhagavatam? And how many times should we distribute Srimad Bhagavatam? The verse says, Sada Sevya, eternally. We should never think that I have read Prabhupada's books once, that's enough. Puna Puna Charvita Charvananam. Prahlad Maharaj says, those who are demoniac, they serve their senses again and again. Similarly, those who are devotional, they serve the senses of Krishna again and again. So, Sada Sevya Srimad Bhagavati Katha. These pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam should be read, spoken, heard and distributed again and again. Why? Yasya Shravana Matrena. Just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Hari Chittam Samashrayet. That Hari whose lotus feet we should take shelter, he resides in the heart of the listener. And it's so beautifully described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Avarudhyate trakritibhi sushrushrubhi tat kshanat. Krishna enters the heart of the listener and the door shuts behind him. So he can't leave. One time one devotee was very beautifully explaining that if you take a straight bottle and you try to push something that's crooked, it'll never enter. If you take like a crooked object and you try to push it through a plastic bottle, it'll never enter. And if you try hard, it gets in and never comes out. So he said, our heart is like that. And Krishna has a threefold bending form. He takes time to enter, but once he's in, he never leaves. Therefore, Yat Gatva Tumar Hridaye Sada Govinda Vishram. Srila Narottam Das Thakur and our Acharyas have said, in the heart of pure Vaishnavas, who are always distributing Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna resides in full potency. Therefore, Tat Shrunvan, Supathan, Vicharana Paro, Bhaktya Vimuchen Naraha. Bhagavatam must be read, Bhagavatam must be heard, Bhagavatam must be distributed, Bhagavatam must be lived and prayed for. But what is the order? Tat Shrunvan. Bhagavatam says, hear from the lips of senior Vaishnavas. Supathan, read it carefully. Vicharana Paro, contemplate on how I can bring the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam to my life. And then after tasting this nectar, the fortune of bhakti, share it with everyone. Therefore, Janma Sarthaka Kari, Karapara Upaka. So in today's discussion, we want to backtrack and take a few steps behind just to understand the background of what's happening. Yesterday, His Grace, Bhurijan Prabhu mentioned about Srila Kavi Karanapur. So I would like to follow in his footsteps and continue from there. Srila Kavi Karanapur very beautifully describes Krishna's thought process. He describes that when Krishna returned from Ujjain, from the tutelage, from the teaching of Sandipani Muni, he describes Krishna came from Gurupur to Madhupur, which means he came from Ujjain or Avanti to present-day Mathura. And after Krishna came back, it is described by Srila Kavi Karanapur that Krishna was so much in separation from Vrindavan that in Mathura he was crying. And he said, the Brajbasis are in so much pain, but one good thing is they have each other, because there's an old saying that when you have pain and you share it with someone, your pain becomes half. So Krishna's thinking, the Brajbasis, the residents of Vrindavan, they have each other to share their distress. And therefore, naturally, Krishna's thinking, I believe that's reduced for them. But I have nobody to share my heart with. So as Krishna was looking in the direction of Vrindavan and burning in the forest fire of separation, Krishna couldn't hold himself. He went running to Balaram. Krishna Balaram. Shri Krishna Balaram ki. Yeah. So Krishna went to Balaram and held the hand of Balaram Sri Kavi Karnapur describes, he went to Balaram and he started to cry. And Krishna said, being here in Mathura, I feel like running to Vrindavan. I came here, I killed Kamsa, and now I have put myself in such a predicament. I can convey my heart's feelings to the Brajbasis. After I killed Kamsa, O Balaram, everyone in Mathura who was held captive, they all went home. Because in Mathura, Kamsa had imprisoned many people. Some from South India and some from North India and the eastern and the western part of the country. But after Kamsa was killed, everyone went home. It was a festival for all the prisoners except one person, and that is the person who liberated everyone, that is Krishna himself. So Krishna held the hand of Balaram and he said, oh dear Balaram, my desire is, I want to go back to Vrindavan. Balaram said, I think we should go together. But there is a very big problem. What is a big problem? Balaram said, I don't think Devaki and Vasudeva will let us go. I don't think they will let us go. They love us so much. And especially for Balaram, he's with Vasudeva and Devaki after 11 years. Vasudeva is the father for Balaram. And Krishna's heart, along with Balaram's heart, is both in Vrindavan. Both start to cry. Krishna told Balaram, should we just cover ourselves and in disguise run to Vrindavan? Balaram said, I think there's one person we should consult, and that is Mother Rohini, my mother. Balaram said, I don't do anything without her permission, except when I stole butter with you. I did that without her approval. But now that we are in Mathura, I think we should go to Rohini Devi, and we should consult and ask her what she feels. So Krishna and Balaram went to Rohini Devi and said, oh dear mother, our heart runs to Vrindavan. Please advise, what should we do? Rohini Devi looked at Krishna and Balaram and said, now I want to speak my side of the story. She said, you know, when both of you left Mathura and went to Ujjain, something special happened. Krishna immediately interrupted and asked Rohini Devi, did the residents of Vrindavan come here to Mathura searching out for us? Rohini Devi said, not once, every single day. Every single day, some or the other resident of Vrindavan would come running to Mathura with sticks in their hand, loudly calling out, Krishna! Krishna! Balaram! Balaram! Like this every single day. And since they didn't hear any echo, they went back to Vrindavan. Rohini Devi said, not one day passed when they didn't come. Every single day they would come and search out in every street of Mathura to ask the residents of Mathura, where is Krishna and where is Balaram? And many of them didn't know. So Krishna asked Rohini Devi, did the Brajbasis know that we went to Sandipani Muni's ashram? Rohini Devi said, no, they never got to know. So every single day they were in the hope that today we will find Krishna and Balaram. And they were disappointed. Balaram said, can you describe their pangs of separation? Rohini Devi said, the heart of the Brajbasis is like freshly blossomed lotus flower, but completely withered by the sun's scorching heat. Not the sun, but the sun-like scorching heat of separation from both of you. The lotus of their heart completely withered, and the petals of their emotions were fallen on the streets of Mathura. How poetic. So Krishna and Balaram asked Rohini Devi, what should we do now? Can we just let them live like this? Rohini Devi said no. They have been remembering both of you. They have been hallucinating. And now is time both of you should run to Vrindavan. But there is a big problem. What is that problem? Asked Krishna. And Rohini Devi said, Devaki and Vasudeva are very attached to both of you. They will never let you go. After so many years, they have got you both. Now they will not let you go. And even if I convince both of them, the associates of Devaki and Vasudeva, Rohini Devi said, some of them are very strict and stringent. They won't let Devaki and Vasudeva allow Krishna, Balaram, both of you back to Vrindavan. Dear devotees, at that point, Krishna wants to know which Brajbasi remembered him the most. And Mother Rohini, because she's in Vatsalyarati, who do you think she thought missed Krishna and Balaram the most? That's correct, Mother Yaśodā. And Kavi Karanapur describes, Shri Vrajarajni Mukhanam Duyamanani Mukhani Dhyanat Anubhuya Trayam Api Bhuyaha Nayana Payasa Vyaptam Asit. All three of them, Krishna, Balaram and Rohini Devi, they held hands. And remembering how Mother Yaśodā cried in separation from both of them, as described by Rohini Devi, they were crying. Krishna was sobbing and wailing so loudly. He told Mother Rohini, I want to go back to my mother. Mother Rohini said, instead my advice would be, send a messenger. Who was that messenger? Uddhava. So this idea of sending Uddhava was Mother Rohini's idea to Krishna and Balaram. And at that time Krishna was thinking, among the messengers, whom should I send? And he was going through a whole list of different devotees. Kavi Karanapur describes, just like a person who has a very expensive necklace around his neck, he wears it or she wears it. But as they go through the duties and the chores, daily activities, they forget that there's a necklace on their neck. Everyone else can see the necklace except the person who's wearing it. So Krishna was thinking, whom should I send? The necklace around his neck in this discussion is Uddhava. And Krishna was going through different associates. And there was Balaram and Mother Rohini. They were able to see the necklace of Uddhava, which means Uddhava being the option. But Krishna couldn't. And at that time, Kavi Karanapur describes, Krishna thought, oh, I have a Chintamani mala, a Chintamani har, a necklace of priceless jewel in the form of Uddhava's friendship. I will call him. Now the question could be, why Uddhava? So Krishna chants a very beautiful verse glorifying Uddhava. Let's chant. Mad archanaya khila balakurdanam balye pidabram kalayan babhuvayah mat prema gopaya samira jamrujam kaishora kecha stimamaya uddhava. Krishna speaks and he says, Uddhava is so dear to my heart. Mama archanaya khila balakurdanam. When Uddhava was a child, his friends would say, come, let's jump, let's play, let's run, let's dance. And he would say, I haven't finished my puja yet. It is described Uddhava in his childhood had a very beautiful deity of Krishna. And he would keep worshipping. And the friends would say, you've been worshipping for 5 hours. Come, let's go, let's play, let's run, let's dance, let's sing. And Uddhava would always say, I haven't finished my puja yet. And not just that. Because of the service, Krishna says, Uddhava's body would have goosebumps. Hair would stand on end, voice would choke, he would sweat, he would cry, he would tremble in love. And when his mother would ask, what happened? I have never seen you go through these symptoms. Krishna explains here that Uddhava would cover his symptoms by telling his mother, I just have some stomach problem. Samira jamrujam, which means I have some gastritis. I have some kapha pitta vayu, dosha imbalance in my body. I have some disease, some illness, my mother, because of which I don't know, my body is going through some trembling. Krishna is telling Mother Rohini and Balaram that Uddhava right from childhood, he loved me so much. He loves me so much. He will love me so much that he gave up his playing with his friends and also covered his symptoms of ecstasy with the veil of the excuse of bodily illness. Krishna said, this Uddhava is so dear to my heart. He is my best friend He's most intelligent because we already heard Vrishninam Pravaro Mantri Krishnasya Daita Sakha Sakshat Brihaspati Shishyo Uddhavo Buddhi Sattamaha. He's the direct disciple of Brihaspati. He's very intelligent, Krishna speaking. Uddhava is so intelligent that he can understand time, place, circumstance very well. He knows what to speak to whom, why, where and how, which sometimes we fail, and because of which there's misunderstandings and miscommunication, because we want to say the right thing to the right person but at the wrong time. Or the time is right but the person is just in a bad mood. Or sometimes the mood is right, the place is right, the time is right, but it's just not our business. Right? So therefore Krishna says, Anudveka karam vakyam. What to speak, how to speak, to whom, where, why and how. So Krishna is saying, Uddhava is a perfect judge of time, place, circumstance. He's my best friend. He's very intelligent. He's a perfect devotee. He's respected in Vrindavan, in Mathura. And I want him to taste Braja Bhakti, the devotion of Vrindavan. So he's the perfect person. So as Krishna, Balaram and Mother Rohini decide this, Krishna's waiting for Uddhava. And lo and behold, by then Uddhava walks in. Kavi Karnapur describes, at that time as Uddhava came in, there were a lot of people walking back and forth. And Krishna didn't think that's the right place to speak to Uddhava. Sometimes that's a very good thing to do. Sometimes the place is just not right. We want to say something which is perfect to a person who is qualified. Maybe the time is correct, but just that it needs to be relished in a private setting, right? Just as they say, praise in public and reprimand in private. So Krishna held the hand of Uddhav, it is described, and took him to his inner chamber, inner quarters. And there, sitting, he made Uddhava sit next to him. Uddhava said, is everything okay? I see you cry, Krishna. The Acharyas describe, Krishna took the Grihitva Panina Pani. He took the hand of Uddhava in his palm and just didn't place it like that. He placed it on his lap. Very intimate. He gets the hand of Uddhava, clasps it into his palm and on his thigh. Keeps it close. And then tells Uddhav, I want to tell you something which has been the deepest secret of my heart. I don't think there's anyone else who will understand. I want to speak my heart to you, Uddhav. Is it the right time to speak to you? And by then, because Uddhav is so much in sync with the mood of Krishna, both of them are already trembling in ecstatic love. They are crying. Drita chittaha. Their hearts have melted. And Krishna and Uddhava, being on the same page of emotions, they are ready to exchange a very beautiful conversation. Krishna starts to speak to Uddhav the glories of Mother Yaśodā. Do we want to hear what Krishna said? Our Acharyas describe. Krishna is describing the Damodar Leela to Uddhav. Can we imagine Krishna speak about his own Leela? How beautiful. Srila Jiva Goswami writes, Krishna is speaking from his perspective what happened in the Damodar Leela. Let's chant. Please kindly call and respond. Dhavam dhavam atitvaram Sachakita Pashyan muhur mataram Griva bhanga Manoharam Taralite Paschadrisho Vikshipan Sthoba kshubdhataya Nadhavitumalam Yavatada Katara Shita Shitalaya Chakara Kritaka Krodam Jananyamana. So this is post Krishna breaking the pot. Krishna has already broken the pot, and now Mother Yaśodā is chasing him. So that's the scene in the heart. Krishna is telling, Dhavam dhavam atitvaram. Hey Uddhav, I ran as fast as I could. In Sanskrit, the word tvara means fast. And atitvara means very fast. And dhavati means to run. But when you say something more than once, that means overemphasis. So Krishna is saying, dhavam, atitwaram. I ran super fast. And sa chakita, pashyan muhuhu mataram. And at one point, I couldn't see my mother. So I paused. I am gasping and palpitating. And Krishna is saying, I looked, sa chakita, I was astonished. I was faster than my mother. And I started looking around. Muhuhu, again and again. I started looking if my mother caught up with me. And how did I look? Griva bhanga. I bent my neck on all directions. Krishna is saying, I bent my neck in all directions. So Uddhava in his heart is feeling, didn't it hurt you? So Griva bhanga manoharam. No, it was very nice. It was very attractive even to me. Because the lines on my neck were like the lines in the inner side of a conch shell. I was looking from end to end. And taralite, paschat drishau vikshipan. And as I moved my eyes, they became so restless. Hey Uddhav, it was like the Khanjan birds in Vrindavan. The Khanjan Pakshi is a very restless bird described by Rupa Goswami. So here Srila Jiva Goswami writes that Krishna was saying, my eyes were like the Khanjan Pakshi. The black eyeballs were moving left to right. And they were completely moist, drenched, not by the rain, but by my tears. But at the same time, I didn't have any more strength to run. There were 4 emotions which were fighting in my heart. Sthoba kshubda tayana dhavitumalam yavat tada kataraha. I was afraid of my mother. I was tired. I was kind of lazy. At the same time, I was restless. So I didn't know what to do. My mother was hiding and seeing me from behind a pillar. And I want to tell you honestly, Uddhav, she was faking anger. Now that I've grown up to be a big boy, now I understand. Kritaka krodam. The anger in her heart was fake. She was just trying to teach me a lesson. And shitaha shitalayam chakara kritaka krodam jananyamanaha. Janani, my mother's mind, which was actually very peaceful, but she was just faking anger. That anger also became completely pacified by looking at my baby form and the fighting of these 4 emotions in my heart. It's almost like Uddhav wanted to know more. What conversation took place after? So Krishna is saying, Mother Yaśodā yelled at me. What did she say? Please everyone repeat. Now this is from the side of Mother Yaśodā. Dhurta. Which means, Krishna, you cheat. Katyevam dhavishyasi. Kvavagantavyam. Till when will you run away from me, O Krishna? And even if you run, where will you go? Tanmadhava. Mother Yaśodā is telling Krishna, don't run. No, you've been running enough. Tanmadhava, don't run. Then Krishna said, what should I do then? Tishtha, just stand there. I am coming. But Krishna said, but I see that you have a whipping stick in your hand. And you're so angry. Your face is like a beautiful flower. And when the flower has red sprinkling powder of kumkum, the flower looks even more beautiful. So, oh Mother Yaśodā, your lotus face has the red kumkum of your anger. It certainly looks very beautiful, but not very attractive for me. So therefore, please hide this lotus of your face, throw away the stick, then I will come. How does Krishna say this? Look at this. Please everyone chant. Mataha pataya panita Kharataram Yashtim namattadanam Karyam cheti kurushva Satyam anaghe Tadyamite sannidhim. Krishna speaking his side. If you want me to come close to you, sannidhim, then I have some conditions, O mother. Mataha pataya panita kharataram yashtimna mattadanam. 2 things. Throw away that stick first. And second, please don't speak like this to me. Please don't chastise me. Na mattadanam. मुझे ताड़ित मत करो, ताड़न मत करो, मत ताड़नम. Karyam cheti kurushva. Satyam anaghe. Oh, beautiful Mother Yaśodā. Now some drama is going on. Oh, beautiful, some buttering going on. Oh, beautiful, wonderful, soft-hearted mother. If you throw away that stick and you throw away that anger, then I'm speaking the truth. Tad yamite sannidhim. Then I will come close to you. As soon as Krishna said this, ityakaranya sutasya katara vachah. Hearing these helpless words of her son, sa panito patayat. She threw away the stick. Yashtim durata eva vikshita dasau vishrantavan dhavanat. Krishna said at that time, I gave a big sigh of relief. And then I went close to my mother. But then there was a problem. There was butter all over my face. Somehow as I walked close to my mother, I wiped the butter. But there was still a problem. The shining effulgence of that butter was still there on my face. So what did I do? I went close to my mother and I was hiding my face. Mother Yaśodā is here and I'm hiding my face. And she's asking me questions. I'm speaking without looking at her. She's saying, look at me. Yeah, I'm here. No, Krishna, look at me. No, look, I'm here. You told me to come close to you. I'm here. What more do you want? Krishna saying at that time, Sanmukham nija shishor yada. My mother held my chin and turned towards her. And what did she say? Aho! Raja! Choranam! O king among thieves! Mother Yaśodā is holding the chin of Krishna because she can see the wonderful effulgence of that butter. Aho Rajasi Choranam! Oh dear king among thieves! Krishna immediately said, Choras tvat pitra gotraja. How can I be a thief? Mother Yaśodā said, then what is all this on your face? Krishna thought to himself, I thought I wiped it. What about the effulgence of the butter on your face? Why did you steal? Krishna is immediately saying, oh dear mother, do you remember your father? Mother Yaśodā said, yes, I always remember my father. Do you remember his father? That's my grandfather. Yes, I remember him. Do you remember his father? Krishna's trying to change the topic. So Mother Yaśodā said, I haven't seen his father, so I don't remember him. But do you know his name? Mother Yaśodā said, yes, I know his name because we have the family lineage recorded. Krishna said, what was his name? Mother Yaśodā said, his name was Chor Ghosh. So Krishna said, Aho Rajasi Choranam, you're saying I am the king among Chor. Let's talk about where this whole dynasty started from. Mother Yaśodā got to know that Krishna's throwing the buck back at her. She said, okay, forget all that. Tell me, how did that pot break? How did that pot break? And Mother Yaśodā is asking very beautifully. So let's ask. Dadi mandha katham khanda. Oh Krishna, Dadi mandha katham khanda. How did that pot of butter break? Look at Krishna's answer. Dandoyam parameshwaraha. Oh Maya, oh dear mother. What is that thing in this world that doesn't happen without the will of God? You're asking me how that pot broke? Just by the will of God. Is Krishna speaking false? No, he's God. Dandoyam parameshituhu. He said, this is the will of Parameshwara. Mother Yaśodā is saying, okay, I tell you all these bedtime stories and you're throwing it like a boomerang back at me. Okay, I'll change the question. Ghritam kishayakah pradat. Okay, you're saying that the pot broke by the will of the Lord. Then you please tell me, how did the monkeys enter the house? Krishna said, because you kept the door open. Mother Yaśodā said, okay, I kept the door open, I agree. But Ghritam Kishaya ka pradad, who was that person who was sitting on that motor, wooden grinding motor, and freely distributing butter and ghee to everyone? Who was that? Krishna is saying, Asau yena vinirmita. He who created the monkeys feeds the monkeys. Who else can feed? God creates the monkeys, God is feeding them, which is him. So then Mother Yaśodā says, okay, now answer properly. How did that pot break? So Mother Yaśodā says, Krishna says, do you remember, oh mother, you put me down and you ran to save that milk? Do you remember? Mother Yaśodā said, yes, I remember. Oh Maya, do you also accept that you wear very big, thick, tinkling ankle bells on your feet? Mother Yaśodā said, yes, I always wear nice ankle bells on my feet. Krishna says, Asputa dadi mandhasya ghata kamama dushtata. You ran with those ankle bells, and as you ran, the ankle bells flew from your feet and hit the pot and broke. And your ankle bells flew from your feet, broke the pot. Ka mama dushtata? Isme meri kya dushtata? What is my fault? What wrong did I do? Mother Yaśodā said, being with monkeys, you're behaving like monkeys. You're talking like a monkey. In fact, even your face cut is looking like a monkey now. Your face has changed to a monkey. You're supposed to be Nara, not Vanara. Krishna starts to cry. And he tells Mother Yaśodā, oh mother, I never thought you will be so ungrateful towards me. Some emotional drama now. Krishna is saying, I never thought you will be so ungrateful to me. I have done so much for you. Mother Yaśodā said, Are Lala, oh little child, what have you done for me? So Krishna is saying, Kisha sa isha nirdishtha pravishta sadma mushthaye krishta sarpi param mrishto maya kama madushtata. Oh dear mother, you kept the door open. The monkeys came from your village. They entered. They were stealing, breaking the pot and eating your butter. I went and held their hand. They took that butter, smeared it all over my face. And now, who is the criminal? You don't blame your paternal lineage for being a chore. You don't blame the monkeys. You don't blame yourself for keeping the door open. You don't blame your butter for being so tasty. Your ankle bell breaks the pot. I am guarding your butter. I am stopping and holding the monkeys. And at the end of the day, you're holding me responsible. This pastime of Damodar Leela, I was going through the folio, and it's so unbelievable how many times Srila Prabhupada has quoted it. Srimad Bhagavatam, and these are not verses, these are Bhaktivedanta purports. Srila Prabhupada quotes Damodar Leela as follows. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 31 purport. Canto 2, Chapter 7, Text 30 purport. Canto 6, Chapter 4, Text 47 purport. Canto 10, Chapter 9, Text 12 purport. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, Chapter 19, Text 205. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Chapter 1. Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 4. Chapter 12, Chapter 22, Chapter 33. I was amazed how much Srila Prabhupada has meditated on this pastime. Srila Rupa Goswami writes, when Mother Yaśodā bound Krishna, finally, after all this drama, Rupa Goswami Pad writes, please everyone chant, Gunair tribhiranal galai Kila jagatrayi vartina Chaturmukha purasaran Apiba bandhaya pranina Vrajendra mahishi bhruve Kimihate prabhavavalim abandhitanubhi gunai sabalavan mukundastvaya. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad writes, in Sanskrit the word guna means sattva gun, rajo gun, tamo gun, but the word guna, which means modes of nature, also means ropes. So Rupa Goswami Pad is writing, Gunais tribir anar galai kila jagat trayi vartina chatur mukha purassaran api babandhaya pranina. Oh dear Krishna, you with the gunas, sattva gun, rajo gun and tamo gun, you have bound up everyone from Brahma to the ant in such a way that no one can free themselves. But all glories to Mother Yaśodā, who used gunas, not modes of material nature, but ropes. She used the ropes of love and bound he who frees everyone as Mukunda. Mother Yaśodā ki? Yeah. At this point, our Sridhar Swami, the original commentator to Srimad Bhagavatam, who is very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sridhar Swami, he writes, Daru bheda nipunopi shadangri nishkriyo bhavati pankaja koshe. Sridhar Swami writes, Kashto yadyapi bidhyate vanachare nugrena bhringena vai tenai batrna chidhyatem bhujapalasha sidu mattalina itya swadya viguda tattva balyepi yenoditam tam damodara bhringa bhupa manisham vande Yaśodā sutam. This is following the footsteps and the mirror of the original words of Sridhar Swami. Sridhar Swami writes, a bumblebee, a honeybee, when it's agitated, it can even break through and tear through wood. When a honeybee is very agitated in the forest, it can make holes even in the wood. However, when it gets attracted to the honey in the center part of a lotus flower, it gets so mesmerized, hypnotized, charmed, attracted, attached, allured, absorbed in tasting the nectar of the whorl of the lotus, that it is sunset and the petals of the lotus close, and this honeybee, who can actually break through the wood, cannot even cut through the soft petals of a lotus. Why is this said? Srila Sridhar Swami is saying Krishna is that honeybee, who when angry can break through the wood of the demoniac forces. He can break through Agasur, Bakasur, Dhenukasur, Arishtasur, Putanash, Trinavarta, Kamsa, Chanur, Mushtika, Dantavakra, Kalayavana, Shishupal, all of them are wood. And Krishna as the honeybee is making holes into their lives. But when that bumblebee called Krishna gets attracted to the Vatsalya Rasa, the motherly love of Mother Yaśodā, getting attracted to the lotus of her heart, when the petals close in the form of the ropes around his belly, he who can break through wood can't even cut those ropes, just like a bumblebee cannot cut the petals of the lotus flower. Krishna speaking to Uddhav, and he finally says, please everyone chant, Chapalyam ma prayasit mama shishu rasakau balyata swaira bhavat evam baddhastayaham sakridapi yadayam tena baddhosmi nityam. Krishna is telling Uddhav, oh dear Uddhav, my mother Yaśodā, she bound me. But who liberated me? Nanda Maharaj. But I want to tell you my heart, O Uddhav. My mother Yaśodā bound me how many times? Once. My father Nanda Maharaj liberated me how many times? Once. But O Uddhav, I'll speak my heart's secret. My mother bound me once, but I am eternally bound by her. My father liberated me once, and because of that, I am eternally bound by him. My mother bound me, and my father liberated me. Still, I am bound by both of their love. O Uddhav, now my request to you is, Gacchodhava braja saumya, pitro nau pritimavaha, gopina madviyogadin matsandeshai vimochaya. Krishna is holding the hand of Uddhav, and he says, O Uddhav, to those parents of mine, Nanda and Yaśodā, please go and convince them and pacify them and they are burning in the fire of separation. Couple of more minutes and then I'll stop. Krishna sends Uddhav, and Uddhav comes to Vrindavan. And now in this section, he's speaking to that Mother Yaśodā and that Nanda Baba, about whom he heard straight from Krishna. Uddhav tells Mother Yaśodā, don't worry, Maiya. Don't worry, Krishna will come soon. He will come and he will sit on your lap like before. He will come very soon. So Mother Yaśodā asks Uddhav, can you tell me when he is going to come? Or should I go to Mathura? I want to go to Mathura, O Uddhav. But he told me not to come. We went many times, but we came empty-handed. Nanda Maharaj said, when I wanted to go, Krishna told me, you be here taking care of the cows and the calves. Please don't come to Mathura. So should we go to Mathura? How will we find him? How should we find him? So Uddhav says, oh, it's very simple to find Krishna. You don't have to go anywhere. He is in your heart. He is in everyone's heart. Imagine, Mother Yaśodā is floating in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and Uddhav is speaking Śrī Ishopanishad. Tad dure tacha antike. He is very far yet so near. He is inside of everything yet outside of everything. He is telling Mother Yaśodā, Krishna is everywhere. He is in your heart. Mother Yaśodā stares at him. And Uddhav is saying, actually, oh Mother, Krishna is like fire. And your heart and your personality is like wood. Just like fire always lives inside wood and is never separated, fire which is inside comes out. So that Krishna is in your heart and he came out and he's still there. And Mother Yaśodā is thinking, yes, your example is right. When the fire comes out, it ends up burning the wood. That Krishna in my heart has come out and through the fire of separation burnt the wood of my existence. What more should I do, Uddhav? Uddhav is telling Mother Yaśodā, please meditate. Vichintya, please contemplate. Mother Yaśodā can't understand all this because she is in the highest plane of spiritual love. Uddhav tells Mother Yaśodā, you please meditate and he will come. Mother Yaśodā says, but Devaki is so close to him. How will he leave Devaki and Vasudeva and come to me? To that Uddhav is saying, who is close and who is far? There is nobody dear and there's nobody not dear. There's no Priya and there's no Apriya. Krishna is the greatest. He is God. He doesn't envy anybody. He has no enemies. He has no friends. Mother Yaśodā said, okay, so what should I do? He also misses me. I miss him. And you're speaking all this philosophy. Uddhava said, actually he doesn't miss you. Don't think Krishna is your son. And that's the section that's given. 42. Don't think Krishna is your son. Mother Yaśodā said, stop. Krishna loves me. He accepts that he is my son and I accept that I am the mother and I love him too. To which text 41, which is given, an example is given by Uddhav. Have we all ever rotated and swirled around in a spinning wheel or as a child played around rotating? What happens when you stop? You feel that the whole world is spinning, right? So Uddhav gives that example. He says, actually, oh mother, when someone rotates and spins around, they feel the whole earth is spinning. But actually the earth doesn't spin. Mother Yaśodā said, Kehna kya chahte ho bhai? What do you want to say? Can you keep it very simple? Uddhava said, actually I want to tell you, Krishna is like the earth. You have been spinning in motherly love so much that now when you pause, you feel even he loves you like the child. Just like when someone's rotating and they stop, they feel the earth also is rotating. Oh mother, you have been rotating for so many years that I am the mother, he is my child. I am the mother, he is my child. I am the mother, he is my child. Now when you pause in separation, you feel he loves you. Actually, he doesn't. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written, Uddhava told Mother Yaśodā, Krishna is everybody's son. Mother Yaśodā. What do you mean everyone's son? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Uddhava said, anyone who calls out to Krishna in the mood of Vatsalyarati, Krishna becomes their child. In the past, those who have called out in love, Krishna has become their child. In the future, those who call out in parental love, Krishna will become their child. In the spiritual world also, those who call out in parental love, Krishna becomes their child. He is God first. Because you love him as a parent, he has become your child. He is not your child. He is everybody's child, not just child. He is everybody's father, everybody's mother, everybody's Ishvara, not your child alone. To which Srila Sanatana Goswami says, Mother Saraswati sat on the tongue of Uddhav and flipped the whole thing. Because in Sanskrit, when there is a na, you can rearrange the sentence and get the opposite meaning. So Uddhava is saying, he is not anybody's son, not anybody's mother, not anybody's father, not anybody's Lord. Oh Yaśodā Rani, I've heard it from Krishna, he's your child. In this way, dear devotees, Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, he writes, although Uddhava tried very intensely, he couldn't shake Nanda and Yaśoda's love even by an inch. And the example given is, you throw as much salt as you want in the ocean, the water doesn't become more salty. Why? Because the volume of water is way more than the quantity of salt. So Uddhav was throwing the salt of philosophical opulent understanding, but the oceanic love of Nanda and Yaśoda had so much volume of water of parental love that Uddhava couldn't shake it. And the example finally given is, when you wear a hat, and you have to look at the height of a very tall skyscraper, what happens? The hat falls behind you. So Uddhava came with the hat of philosophical learning. And he's tried to convince the tall skyscraper of Mother Yaśoda's heart. And as he was trying his best, he looked at the love of Mother Yaśoda and his cap fell behind him. And therefore Uddhava, lifetime after lifetime, desires, Asamaho charanarenu jushamaham syam Vrindavane kimaki gulmalataushadhinam. I don't want to be Uddhav. I simply want to be a blade of grass in Vrindavan. Vande Nanda Vrajastrinam Padarenum Abhikshnashaha Yasam Harikathod Geetam Punati Bhuvanatrayam Eta Param Tanu Bhrutom Bhuvi Gopavadvo Govinda Eva Nikhilatmani Ruda Bhava Vanchanti Yad Bhavabhiyo Munayo Vayamcha Kim Brahma Janma Bhirananta Katharasasya. Lifetime after lifetime, Uddhava, Lord Brahma, Narada Muni, Lord Shiva, everyone aspires to be in this holy, wonderful land of Śrī Vrindavan. All this nectar from our acharyas, it is not our property. It is Srila Prabhupada's property. Srila Prabhupada very kindly bestowed that to us. In the first canto, first chapter, first verse purport, Srila Prabhupada instructs. Srila Prabhupada says those who want to seriously study Srimad Bhagavatam, they should take shelter of the acharyas. So following that instruction of Srila Prabhupada, we are reading this. We don't have any authority on the writings of our acharyas. Srila Prabhupada said, you can understand Bhaktivinoda Thakur through me. So similarly, as we conclude today's discussion, let us offer our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, who translated all of this and gave it in his Bhaktivedanta purports and in a language which is freely available. That is the English language. My Guru Maharaj once said that English language is like the river in a village. In a village, the river is such that you can use it for drinking, for bathing, for washing your clothes, washing your utensils, and it always remains pure. Which means English is a language where there's poetry, there's drama, there's suspense, novels, fiction, everything. And that's the language of the whole world. But what did Prabhupada do? He mixed the Charanamrit of Krishna Leela into it. When you mix Charanamrit in the river, the whole river becomes Charanamrit. So Srila Prabhupada, he gave Braja Leela, Krishna Leela, he poured it into the river stream of the English language. And today, in all the world, all the countries of the world, we can sit, read, and take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's teachings and access this nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.